I've not seen this, so we're watching this together as friends on the internet.
This is Patrick Melton. He's the pedophile. I played a video about him being a pedophile a couple streams ago. Really gross, fucking disgusting person. I'm kind of pissed that Dax Herrera, aka Juju the Cow, man who gets dressed as a cow, continues to introduce more pedophiles into my cinematic universe. I really don't like talking about them. But Nick Fuentes for. I just need to call him Rekieta. If I say Nick, I'm going to slip into the Nick Fuentes. If I say Rekieta, I have a chance. I have to remember it. Rekieta. Talking about Baldo. Rekieta. Rekieta. Okay. This is what Melton has to say about... Oh, no, sorry. This is Rekieta talking to Melton and has a statement for the world.
I just want to remind the entire internet that Aaron goes to my Kiwi Farms thread and then jerks off right after reading it. That's right. Aaron goes and he reads my Kiwi Farms thread over and over and over, page after page after page. And when he finally reaches the end, he immediately switches and starts jerking off furiously. And yes, I can prove it, and that's even worse. What? This poor bastard, I can prove that Aaron Imholt thinks about Nick Rekieta and reads about him and then jerks off, and that's what he wants to do.
Hold on.
What a cock.
You can prove he reads your Kiwi Farms thread and then jerks off.
Yes, I can do it. It's funny.
How do you prove that? He's got video of it, I'm sure. What?
What a retard. Why would you want to read about me and then jerk off? Just come over and stare at me and jerk off. I'm pretty. I'll let you do it. I don't care.
Okay, before we get into the analysis of this clip, let's talk about something completely unrelated to the actual content of the video we just watched. What the f*** is he on? I have a pet theory that he is doing galaxy gas or something, because he's not sober. There's no fucking way that the guy you just heard is 100% sober. He's intoxicated by some kind of substance. And I'm trying to think, what can you do that's not going to piss hot? Because I know that they're testing like his hair. I know that they're testing his pee. So it has to be something that he can do that is not going to show up on those tests. Or if it does show up on those tests, he has a reason for it. He has a prescription. So... High on life. Ah, okay. Carpet glue, robo tripping, gasoline. Oh, is he Rama chat? Is that what's happening? Shrooms? No, I don't think mushrooms would get him to act like that. Ketamine is out of the system very quickly. Does that not show up on long-term tests like hair? My pet theory is the galaxy gas, because the kids do it and it does get you high and it does make you like a f***ing retard. And I feel like that would be right up his alley. And I can't imagine that galaxy gas shows up on any kind of test. Yeah, ketamine would show up on your hair test, I'm pretty sure, because it has metabolites. Whereas air duster, it doesn't metabolize. It's just suffocating your brain. So definitely kratom. Okay. Everybody's going to have their own theory, but I'm going with Whippets. I think that he's going to do galaxy gas on Fuentes' yard at some point. This is the second clip, I think, of the Melton.
So the girlfriend you spoke of earlier was not April?
She was my girlfriend at the time. We're broken up now. It sucks, man. I love her. She's cool.
What?
Wow.
Spy report.
So then can you confirm or deny, is April on your property? Is she staying on your property anymore?
Docs.
She doesn't live in my house. I don't talk where other people live. Like, I don't want to say anything other than that.
Yay!
All right,
Okay,
good.
so if you don't know, the guy on the right is like a Aaron Imholt A-log, and his whole shtick is that he has like a green screen and a Muppet, and is like putting in Aaron Imholt's studio, and he has like an Aaron Imholt Muppet thing, and he streams with this pedophile who should be crucified, but I don't think that there's a type of wood that's strong enough to hold his fat up off the ground. Okay, so the two clips we just watched, the first one is him admitting that he has some way to absolutely, totally prove for sure, for real, no cap, that Aaron Imholt first reads the Kiwi Farms and then second jerks off to cuckold pornography. And the second clip that we just watched he confirms that he's in a relationship with April Anderson, formerly April Imholt, and that she lives somewhere close to him, i.e., on his property. These two admissions are very important. This one in particular, I think, is a direct violation of a no contact order that he has. He has some. There's some kind of I think it might be a conditional release, or for her, there's some kind of condition where he's not allowed to be living with April. So I think that she's living in the Cuck Queen Palace still. So it's kind of like you're kind of violating the spirit of the order, but not necessarily the letter of it. So you're gonna get away with it. The other one, this one has far greater complications. On the topic of April, this is a photo that she posted, I think, on Instagram, and you can see that it matches up directly with the Cuck Queen Palace on Zillow, which I think that they've dropped the price down of a little bit more. So that's still for sale in case anyone wants a nice property in Spicer, Minnesota. But she's living there. So then he gets this message of him complaining. I will clarify what he's talking about after this ends.
I can tell you this, like, I have a letter from the attorney, the district attorney in my case, who says there's no victims in this crime. These are not victim crimes, which includes the children, by the way. And I'm hoping to get the children's charge rectified based on that letter at some point in the very near future. Because if there's no victim, they can't say that there's child endangerment. And there wasn't. I want to be really, really clear on that. The reason they would say there's no victim here is because you don't actually have the evidence to sustain a child endangerment charge, because you can't actually show any time where a child was brought around an illegal drug or had any negative consequence from any sort of thing. It really sucks how the news has like trickled out from these things that should not have been public, because it paints me in a really terrible light and doesn't give me the opportunity to respond. But one day I will respond. But most people could just use common sense and figure out that an 8-year-old doing a whole bunch of cocaine would have negative health consequences, and someone probably would have talked about them somewhere like a hospital, and then me going to prison harder. But that hasn't happened, and there's a good reason for it. That being said, like, there's all sorts of shit here to deal with. I don't want to go to prison because I do have kids. I do love them. I always have. They've never been neglected. They've never been hungry. They've never been so dirty that they're in danger. None of that shit's real. That was, and guess what? Like, I'm going to prove all of it when it's done, because I have all the recordings of the people conspiring to tell the lies to the preacher. Like, that was an actual conspiracy by people to get together to tell untruths to a guy so that he would relay them to the cops. And I know that because I fucking said it, and I have it on recording, because that's how this works. You get discovery, and all of those interviews get shared with the defendants so they can defend themselves, not just in court but also in public. So it's weird. It's almost like a bunch of people got together and lied about me, and there's some really bad timing involved, and then everybody didn't know what to do. But me least of all, I'm like, jail's weird. I don't like this that much. I'm going to sleep. Oh, and the cops tried to talk to me in jail. I made fun of them the whole time too. Stupid. Detective Poplin, I'm going to probably see you in court. You're stupid. You're probably gay.
Probably gay. So his complaint that he has a letter from the prosecuting office that there is no victim in his case. I know exactly what letter that is, because that's the letter in reply to my motion to broadcast his trial, or specifically his pre-trial hearing that we didn't really have a right to ask to be heard, but we said, pretty please, it's a super special case, so you definitely want to go outside the norms and broadcast this. And the judge was like, no. He said resubmit it after the pretrial motions. So we could at any point submit the our media access request. We'll do it again. I think we're gonna wait for the other pretrial shit to get sorted, and then we'll do it all at once. That's on the table. The thing that he's saying, though, the attorney responded to our request to broadcast the pretrial hearing and also the trial, was that they don't have any issues with that because there is no victim in the case, or they don't. The way that they worded it was basically just that they didn't anticipate calling any witnesses to stand that would be classified as a victim, so they weren't going to call his kids. And either he has deliberately misinterpreted this to mean that his children are completely unharmed and they therefore have no case against him, or he is just deliberately misrepresenting this to everybody to try and pretend that the state said something that they did not. The fact that there is literally, in a legal sense, no victim in the case. The victim is the state. They brought the case because he's in possession of a controlled substance. It does not mean what he's trying to imply. So this stood out to me as particularly interesting because it is just a blatant on the nose lie, and it's like, how gullible do you think people are? He's finagling that as if that admission is somehow going to get his kids back. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, the state said there's no victim, so therefore there can't be any family court issues as well. Now we have to talk about April. So April has a Twitter account, and like everybody with a Twitter account, she's lost her mind. By the way, I'm still banned from Twitter. Everybody, please play me a sad song in my violin. She has started tweeting absolute nonsense day and night, and it's really bizarre. So I'm going to read these tweets, and we'll go through them together. We'll process them together as family. Ah! Oh wait, sorry, it's a laugh. Ah! Ah! Why so serious? As Nick's dick is on my thigh, and I'm trying desperately to find all the green circles to put my limbs on, wishing he'd just slip it in. Ah, he still wants us. Ha 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 ha. Whoever gifted you this information deserves a big thanks and a pat on the back, and should also get a subscription to Related Law on my channel because there's big things coming, spelled like ejaculation. Another win for the toe? No, Nick and April. Now, okay. Hold up, let me get that. Did I get this out of order? I'm gonna have to switch back and forth, I think that's what's happening here. That tweet that she just showed that she was laughing at. Nick Rekieta published this screenshot of browser history on a Google account. Now, on Google Chrome, you can sign into a Google account, and this has the very handy feature of syncing all your Google shit together so they can better track you between browsers. In particular, it syncs your browsing history. So, if for whatever reason you were at a man's house high on cocaine and getting in the ass and letting your girlfriend get pounded by this guy, and you decided that you would sign into your Google account on a computer that was at his house, and you forgot to sign out, that means that when you're at home on your computer, on your Google account, browsing the Kiwi Farms and then switching over to cuckold pornography to jerk off, it means that Nick Rekieta can still see your browser history at his house. That's exactly what happened. Now, this is or on April's computer specifically, because she seems to, this is the tweet that I just read, she seems to confirm that it was her that gave this wonderful gift to her new boyfriend, Nick Rekieta. There's a problem with that, and I'll just switch over to this one. Aaron suspects that Nick has been accessing his Google accounts, and okay, I'll read that in a second. So, there is something that was written in 1986. It's a very important law. It's called the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. And this outlines the federal definition of hacking. It is a very, very generously worded definition. Effectively, any kind of computer breach or any kind of access to something that you reasonably believe you do not have access to is hacking. Technically, they call it computer trespass because calling it hacking when you just open something that you have access to completely unimpeded sounds a bit silly. But computer trespass is a very real thing. It is a felony. It is a federal crime. And I know people who have been convicted of it. If you guys know a guy called Andrew Arenheimer, a.k.a. Weave, he went to federal prison, I think for, I want to say years. I want to say he had a multi-year sentence. And all he did was he went to an unsecured IP address that belonged to AT&T, and it just spewed out consumer information to whoever opened it. So he accessed and publicized data that was on this completely free access AT&T server, and that was computer trespass, aka hacking under the CFAA, and he got several years in prison for it. So it is a very generous law. Now, would a Google account count as unauthorized access to a computer thing? Yeah, especially if you're accessing emails, as Aaron says is the case. He says that his Google accounts had been accessed. He was sending an email, which would be a felony under the CFAA. However, before I read these really retarded messages, let me just say this. What I heard that is interesting. So there are many layers to why what Rekieta is doing high on whippets is extremely retarded. First, you have the felony of the CFAA. Now, would the federal government prosecute somebody for logging into a Google account and seeing that they watch cuckold porn? Probably not. Good chance that's not going to happen. However, he's complicating this for himself by committing several other crimes. And as they say, never commit a felony while committing a felony while being prosecuted for a felony, because then, then your life gets real fucked up real fast. So his accessing of this Google account is frustrating to his ambition to stay out of prison for several reasons. The first of all, Aaron Imholt is a witness. He's a state witness against Nick Rekieta for the ongoing drug charges. And Nick Rekieta is aware that Aaron Imholt is a potential witness for the state, and he is still with him, and he is still doing things to try and embarrass him. And this can be considered witness intimidation. Witness intimidation is a felony in Minnesota, and it's also a felony federally. If you do interstate or telecommunication witness intimidation, that could be a federal offense, especially in combination with the CFAA. Bad idea. Second, and this is even more crazy for him, is that if he's sending emails, that complicates things. But if he's reading his emails, there's another problem for him. Because Aaron Imholt has initiated legal proceedings filed complaints against Rekieta for his behavior. And he's hired an attorney to do so. So there's a non-zero chance that Rekieta has seen privileged attorney-client communications between Aaron Imholt and his attorney in regards to matters that concern him. And that's bad enough on its own, but it's doubly, triply bad for Nick Rekieta, because Nick Rekieta is a sitting member of the bar in which this crime is being committed. So and the bar has a very different standard for evidence than the court system. So it is potentially a situation where the bar exam is going to say it is completely unacceptable for you to be spying on attorney-client privileges, and you know this because you are an attorney, and then they can disbar them, potentially permanently, because the bar association, or the bar and the bar association is a different thing. It's a technicality, but the bar has different standards for stuff, and it's potential that they can really him over. They can revoke his ability to practice law. Not that it means anything besides a theoretical victory. I talked to two attorneys about this, and they had different opinions. Attorney A, who I will simply refer to as Big Guy, his opinion was that it's definitely possible, and they might do it if they hate him. The other guy, I don't know what nickname I'll give him. He has no nickname. He's just Guy B. But that's all information you need to know. Guy B is a very grounded person who views government practically. And his opinion is that the government prefers to do as little as humanly possible at all times, unless they really, 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 really have to. So the chances of the bar going out of its way to disbar him for this is very small, even if it is a breach of violations. And even if they do, it might just be a year or two suspension. So he's always very grounded in reality, very practical, very withheld, and always, always, always of the belief that the government does not actually want to enforce any of its laws unless you really piss them off. Whereas Big Guy is a little bit more ambitious in his prognostications, possibly for personal reasons. So that's the two opinions I've heard. But it's a situation you don't want to be in, obviously. Okay, let's continue with these. I heard from a really intimate friend that Aaron really fast when he asked how your dick feels inside of me, Nick, especially how big it is and how you made me bleed all over the sheets on your birthday. Why would he tell anyone that? Seems like I asked for my privacy. Here we have April saying that she got pounded so hard she bled, which when I read that, I'm just thinking that has to be drugs. Like, it has to be a thing where you're taking, like, ecstasy or something, or maybe cocaine. I've never done either, so I don't know. But it feels like you're doing a drug so that you can have lots of sex, and then your sex is, like, outpacing your, like, the ability to produce lube naturally, and you don't lube up for whatever reason, so she's bleeding. That's what it sounds like to me. I just finally shared mine. Oh, wait, Dick. This is in response to Juju the Cow, aka the expert, aka Dick Masterson, and gets just as a cow. He says, "Every single woman also has a scary story about a ghost." That is not true. For sure, that's not true. That's a weird thing. Oh, Dick. Juju's also a pro Fuentes Nick sucker. That's and he had Nick as a guest once, and I think he called him like the. Oh, I'm thinking of the other guy, Richard Spencer. He had Richard Spencer on. And he said he was so sexy. Juju says, every single woman has a scary story about a ghost. April says, I finally shared mine. I wish I could have justice for what he put me through. Oh, wait. And then Juju says, your body, my choice. And April says, time for Rekieta Law and I to finally choose our bodies for once and stop letting other people violate and abuse us. April says, and the... Juju says, Imholt cruising Rekieta's Kiwi Farms thread and then gets so turned on by the memory of his wife getting he immediately goes to Pornhub and jacks off to cuck porn, and then he goes on to his wife's Twitter. April says, and the cycle continues. You don't get to me ever again, A.A. Ron. I loved you, and I was good to you. Nick and I will haunt your memory for life for what you've done to us. That was your choice. Eric Lancaster says, God, I hope Rekieta's kids do not have access to the lowercase I internet. Which one? Timid Tiger says, of course they do, frowny face. April responds to that one saying, if it wasn't for their dad and I telling the truth about love and sex and the two of us, those kids wouldn't have been left to read all the lies and cheap filth you bottom-feeding scum. I put on the lowercase I internet, which one? For a year now. Nick and I will keep telling the truth. You won't. I kept all the abuse of me a secret. I let you take away my confidence, my voice, my position as a loving stepmother. Ew. Ew. Don't you dare. Gross, nasty bitch. Dude, April is like... Whenever you read those like posts by like the manosphere type Twitter aggregators, like the Nick Fuentes, Juju the Cow, Andrew Tate types, they're all like, white women are dogs. Yeah, white women only want one thing, and it's disgusting. Yeah. They're not actually talking about white women. They're talking specifically about April Imholt by name. They're just very confused. This woman is like a gross she-devil hoe. Bitch, dirty hoe. Nasty. That's right. My voice as an entertainer, my voice in life, my privacy of my relations, my privacy as an adult, and my humanity. I'm a human being. My bad. Never again. There's more. She starts talking more about Rekieta sexually. She says, boy, would I like to. And then Flimsy Greenberg, Jewish, says, taste Rekieta Law's cum. And she says, yes. I have not yet begun to defile myself at Rekieta Law. I need your help. I don't know what she's replying to. Hi Face, who has a picture of the BC Games roulette wheel that Bossman Jack was a big fan of as his avatar, which 100% identifies this person as a Kino Casino, the Kiwi Farms chat room participant. He says, come check out the Steel Toe subreddit. And April says, it made me smile for the first time in my life, but I'm having a hard time coming. I need Rekieta Law and his huge Polish dick for that. Gimme that thick sauce, girl. I'm hungry. That is vile. I don't think I ever want to do Whippets, chat. Keep that galaxy gas away from me. And then, of course, she backtracks all of this. You ready? April says, I just got off the phone with support, and it looks like someone had my credentials. I don't know what their intentions were or who that was, but I'm not making that mistake again. And then she kind of casts doubt on that for a second and says, some other up version of me. There won't be posts like that again. Even if the stories are true, I can deliver them with much higher class, and this isn't the place for it. So she says, I was hacked, and then I'll just do better next time. This is a lie. I can 100% prove to all of you right now that this is a lie. I dare you. I double dog dare you, motherfucker. Go to the internet and you try to find the Twitter customer support number. It does not exist. There is not a single phone number available to the public that you can call to get access to a Twitter customer support agent. They don't exist. She did not get a call from Twitter customer support because it's not on this plane of reality, okay? So she's a flat out liar. It has never had customer support. Okay, so this is more on the CFFA thing. Aaron said, ready for this one. Nick was logged into my Google account in his house and was reading my emails and sending some to people. Password changed and devices logged out. He says, I think he observed I was logged into his computer and had been accessing the account, and new people were sending me stuff for my case, which is what I was talking about in regards to the privileged communication. The person has to try to identify location access, see if you can reasonably establish unauthorized access. He says, I did, and I think it was from when I did shows there. I'm gonna regret this. This is the pedophile talking about dumb shit. I'll play like a minute of this.
Guys, we know Aaron's a cuck. You don't need evidence. But what I'm saying is, what if Nick has treasure troves of it? What if Aaron's been saving pictures of nude men to his photo roll? Oops. You know, again, like Aaron can wind up for this civil suit or whatever, but like, depending on what gets released before any of us get slapped with a whatever the gonna happen, you know, I mean, Jesus, the damage could be done. The damage could be done. Really, really bad stuff.
Winning as he's posting his big.
That sounds like a threat. That sounds like you're gonna sue us, huh? Well, we're gonna post all the cuckolding stuff. How are you gonna threaten Aaron? Like, Aaron's already debased himself. He's already a cuckold. There's literally like, there's a couple things worse than being a cuckold. Working for the IRS is worse. You know, chances are, if you work for the IRS, probably a cuck anyways. I think taxing people is the same kind of high you get as like jerking off to your own wife getting like pounded. How you gonna embarrass Aaron? I think that ship sailed. Everyone knows him as a cuckold at this point. Like, I think you it's like the scene from The Dark Knight Rises. It's like Batman's trying to intimidate the Joker. He's like, you have nothing to hold over me.
Of anything, but this is the classic version of it. Okay,
it's witness intimidation.
I didn't know Nick was putting that out at all. I had no clue. I mean, again, I'd be intimidated. I will say that. Like, if I knew a guy had my whole search history, email, text messages, voicemail messages, search history, browser history, communications with legal people, zipped up photos, you know, credit cards, passwords, who knows what other accounts could have been accessed. I'd be losing it. How's Aaron doing? You think that's a crime? I'd be losing my if I was Aaron. You don't know what he's got and what he's going to put out before your lawyer drafts up a cease and desist.
Look at this cheesy pedophile grin. Disgusting. I'm like viscerally repulsed looking at this fat cunt. Yeah, that sounds like a threat, and it also sounds, I don't know. I don't want to like. It's like when people. I think there was even like a reply I saw on Twitter. It was like, "Oh, you're lining up for a RICO." It's like nobody's getting RICO'd. It does sound like conspiracy to me, though. It's all a matter of how pissed off the government is. And there's a case to be made that they are pissed off, because if they're going after Ralph for the misdemeanor nationwide, I mean, that sounds like they're pissed, Chad. I don't... It sounds like the counties are extremely displeased that they have all this super high-profile white trash and none of the parties can just shut the up. Like, we have an ongoing train wreck. There's kids in the mix. Show some decorum. Show some humility. Some respect for your situation and shut the up. Let's handle this. Let's dish out the sentences and figure out what we're gonna do. Let's shut the up and treat this with the respect that it deserves. And what do the counties get from their defendants and from their witnesses? It's like you have this nonstop. It's like a 40-car pileup on the interstate, and it's all clown cars, and there's just like the emergency responders are actively trying to put out fires, but they're slipping on like banana peels and getting banana cream pie to the face, and it's just like, what a disaster, what an utter humiliation for the process, you know? You got fat felons hiding in Mexico, you got a pedophile, and the defendant's high on whippets and still f***ing his girlfriend and breaking into his computer history, and it's just like every day the prosecutor of these two counties must wake up and be like, do I really? It's kind of like a catch-22. It's like, you know, we have all this we can hit them with, but then I have to deal with this 40-car pileup. And 2 years from now, you're going to have this guy facing Computer Fraud Act charges and conspiracy to witness intimidation. You're going to have even more clowns in the car pile up. You're going to have more clown cars. There's going to be more banana cream pies. It's going to be like a mile long at that point, 2 years into this. They must just been thinking, like, do I really hate these people enough that I'm going to spend all these resources to with them? But I mean, they're really trying, man. They're trying to make it worth it. At some point, there's gonna be a point if they keep going like this, where it's just like the games have stopped. They might even revoke fucking Rekieta's bond, because I think, if I remember correctly, he's on unconditional bond. But I think one of the mandatory conditions, even of unconditional bond, is that he remain law abiding. So if he's like doing criminal they could revoke his bond and be like, okay, look, the clown car, it's over with. You're going to jail until your trial. You violated your bond. We don't even have, like, I don't even know if they have to charge him with another crime to say that he's not been law abiding. They just have a suspicion that he's violated bond. Do they have to press a charge? I don't know how that works, but I think they might. Yeah, they might. I can't imagine. I'm imagining my attorney friends who are used to be prosecutors, and I'm thinking, like, I can't imagine what he would do if he was in this situation. Because a big thing I didn't even think about until we had conversations was that because attorneys are elected official, prosecuting attorneys in most counties in the country are elected. They have to run for office and be elected to become a prosecuting attorney. And it's kind of like they have to set how hard on crime they're going to be, and they also have to manage their finances. So a conservative is going to be like, we're tough on crime and we're not going to waste any money, you know? So we're gonna reduce payroll and stuff, and we're gonna give out harsher sentences. It's like, are the people of Stearns County and Candido High County going to appreciate their prosecuting attorneys putting out a $10,000 extradition to pick somebody up in California for a misdemeanor? Who knows? Maybe they would appreciate it. I'm like, yeah, these guys are making a mockery of our courts, you know, and playing games and disrespecting the decorum of our proceedings. And it's like, I'm glad that the county spent the tax money to go round up all these and put them in prison. Who knows? It's a very open-ended question. So there's a little bit more, I think. Let's see. Okay, this is a video put out by Third World Aristocrat. I've not seen it, but it's highly acclaimed. Let's take a watch.
Lady Rackets.
It's called Was It Worth It, by the way.
Is the love of my life who I promised myself to. People can say whatever they want. We are monogamous. We are our first. We are our last. And we are our best. Come up with whatever story you want. Will never be true.
Y'all, I am monogamous AF. If you ever see any video or picture of me with anyone, much less another woman, it's absolutely fake. Absolutely. But
Wait, so the girlfriend you spoke of earlier was not April?
She was my girlfriend at the time. We're broken up now. It sucks, man. I love her. She's cool.
Wow.
I
People
said
are
that to
gonna.
April all the time. I'd come on again.
Yeah, are you still ramming April's hot pocket?
No, God. I wish. It's awesome.
What?
April, can I muscle you though? Like, is that okay?
Jesus Christ. This is a good question. Does April come?
Of course she does. When I talk to April, shockingly, I don't really want to talk to her about her Aaron origin story. I want to talk to her about cool stuff.
Like her vagina.
Do you think she'll?
Yeah, exactly. That thing's awesome.
What is cheating is then exploiting that for gratification that should come from your spouse. That's the infidelity. It's when you don't say no. That's the transgression.
At the end of the day, it's always us. It's not anybody else. But people try to make it more than us. They do, being monogamous with Lady Rackets. And people have tried to make that into something it isn't, and I don't know what to tell them. I am monogamous with Lady Rackets. She's monogamous with me. We're our only people. We have been for 19 years. We were virgins when we met. It's just us.
I'm like, hey, you're my friend. I just want you to know this thing isn't true. By the way, my wife and I are monogamous and have been for our entire marriage. We were virgins when we met, and we are our only people we've ever had sex with. I know that there's these like weird rumors about us. I just want you to know as my friend, because there's this weird going on. I've been married for...
By the way, I'm going to pause it there. That whole diatribe to Sean wasn't to Sean. It was about me. It was about me publishing the shower text because he was upset that people were talking about him potentially swinging at hedonism too. And he just kept messaging me to tell me I honestly can't even put into words how annoying it is. When you get a message and it's Rekieta and he's telling you people in the Kiwi farms are wrong. And I'm just like, what the are you telling me this for? I don't care. And he's just like, this is just for you, bro. Just as friends. I just want you to know that they're wrong. And, you know, with the hedonism too, I didn't even give a I truly didn't give a I didn't read his thread that much. Like, I was still kind of like pro Nick even after the hedonism stuff because it was just like a rumor. I'm just like, I honestly don't care enough about this to be like, oh, this guy because of his vacation to Jamaica. But he like pressed it so hard. And it's just like, bro, what the are you doing?
16 years and have 5 kids. So I very much I'm pro monogamy, and I think it weirds me out to see like these pushes for alternative sort of relationships.
Can you tell us whether or not Aaron does in fact know what your cum tastes like?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I knew it. Yes.
No.
Would you say that Aaron has sampled your essence more than once?
I don't know. I know of the one story, but let me just say that from the story, I can tell you very clearly, it wasn't a fucking accident.
The fact that Aaron sampled Nick's cum and it wasn't an accident is the bombshell.
I don't know why he would do that.
I guess that needs to be said. But other people's fantasies about us are their own fantasies. My wife and I are happily monogamous. If you don't get it, if you don't understand how relationships work, if you don't understand what a man's promises to the person he cares about means, and if you don't understand what a woman's promises to the person she cares about means, that's on you. It's not on me.
Nick Rekieta started his career as a humble family man that grew into wild success with an audience of 100,000 plus, making buku bucks. You stood at the precipice of success and you threw it away. For what? Momentary pleasure. But again, I'll ask you, was it worth it?
Obviously. I didn't realize that Jim was an incel prude, chat. Very good video as always. I'm gonna upgrade this. Give him the sticker upgrade. I appreciate. I always like forum made content such as this. Oh, but someone was asking about the song. Is the music here? Right, you gotta. People always ask what the song is. If you make a video like this, you gotta tell people what the music is, bro. It's important. That's why I always put the songs in my streams at the bottom, because otherwise I get nagged to death. Cool. There is one update. I saw this on Zitter. It was sent to me, and it's apparently from the forum, but he doesn't link to the forum. So, this guy says, Cricket. I don't know who this is. I've always said that he's probably that one guy, Kinoshe. And if he's Kinoshe, he needs to never tell people that he's Kinoshe ever. He just needs to keep being Rekieta. He needs to hide his dark, shameful past as being Kinoshe. But Kiwi Farms users have discovered a Facebook post made by Dan Sletta, the stepfather of Kayla Rekieta. The post is an impassioned plea for Kayla to recognize her self-worth. Let's read this. Dan Slota says, the sun, the moon, and all the planets that can be seen and those not seen. All material worth in the universe isn't worth as much as you. Not even close. My beautiful daughter, don't let anyone convince you that you owe them something. No one on this planet even has the right to look in your eyes. If they wouldn't trade their life to save you from perversion, verbal, physical molestation, out of love like Jesus, they don't deserve to be around you. That's a very strong statement. So I can't attest to this. Oh, okay. This guy wanted me to cover this, by the way. I figure I might as well. These three users, Harm, Strix, Procrastinator, and I guess Oxygen, would like me to posit you this theory that at some point Nick Rekieta started getting interested in the occult. And they are of the mind that Nick Rekieta is literally possessed by a demon, and so is April Anderson, and that's why he's like this. Should I play this clip? I guess I might. He did clip it for me.
Nick Rekieta has access to Aaron's Google account, to the computer. I get, allegedly to the computer he logged in on at Nick Rekieta's house. May I have known about this for a long time? Yeah. Maybe there's more. Nick was accessing his Gmail from this computer at Nick's house. And why would this be? April has the password. Nick hacked in. No. Hit the like button. Aaron used to do shows from Nick's house when they were having one of their swinger getaways. And apparently Aaron logged in. And by the way, even if Nick told me this, it's just what Nick said. Right. Who knows what's real? Nick could be fucking with all of us, right? I can tell you that I have seen more than what Nick's posted. Nick just posted.
I love that this clip is elevated by the editor desperately trying to stop Andy Worski from interrupting it every 30 seconds. Like you can tell that there is like minutes of random Andy Worski interruptions on the clipping room floor for this clip.
A little thing. I do have no reason to believe This is fake. What it is. Him and April then started laughing about it over tweets and stuff. We all know what this is. We all know what this is. Then Aaron logged in and signed in to Nick's computer almost a year ago. Time they did shows from the Rekieta compound. And when I say logged in, I don't mean Gmail. I mean Google. And it looks like the browser. Looks like he synced the account to this Chrome, to this computer. And this would be everything Aaron M. Holt Google. This is YouTube. Analytics, money, numbers, all of it. Gmail.
Whoa.
Phone call record. Voicemails. Anything that's your Google account.
That's a bad one.
Search history. For instance, if Aaron M. Holt were worried that he might be getting sued for defamation, he might be panic Googling things. Can I be sued for defamation without being served a cease and desist? Open tabs. Just the most intimate details of your life. I don't think people understand
You sick.
how crazy search history is. Aaron's Google account might be decades old. YouTube. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
Years of text messages. Think about how important email is to other services. You get a PayPal or Venmo donation, you get an email about it. This has ramifications. I don't think people understand. Imagine you were caught having intimate legal conversation, and then you couple that with the security cameras that may or may not exist. Maybe I have the full, complete presentation memo that Aaron sent over to get his little radio job. I don't know. Nick Rekieta has access to Aaron's Google account, to the computer, I get, allegedly to the computer he logged in on at Nick Rekieta's house. May I have known about this for a long time? Yeah. Maybe
am I insane? Sorry, it looped over. I didn't even notice. Yeah, so basically just completely outlining that he has every facet of Aaron's life, and he's going to try to destroy him with that. Good for him. That's effectively the Rekieta update. So I guess he thought he was really, really, really clever, like using his Google account against him. I don't think that will work out in his favor in the long term. It really just depends on how eager the government is to get him. That's stupid.